Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Ear to Ear podcast with C. Ray and Lanny Mo. I am C. Ray, and this hunk of burning love on the other side of the screen here is Lanny Mo. Lanny, how you doing this evening, man?
Great, man. Great weekend.
Good deal, good deal. It was a good weekend to be a Mountaineer. I think the BYU coach got his wish. He got to hear us sing Country Roads
Yeah.
as we thrashed BYU 37-7. Not only giving us a nice convincingly win, for the week, for the year, but made us bowl eligible.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's going to be the Alamo Bowl or something better, but we're going to be in a bowl, it looks like, this year. So let's start with some reflection. Lanny, tell me what you like this weekend.
Total domination. BYU who?
You said it. You said it. You said it. BYU who?
I knew they were bad. I didn't realize they were that bad. We looked really dominant. That was a dominant performance. It was nice to see. I don't think any starters played after in the fourth quarter.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Few mistakes here and there, but BYU had nothing for us.
Right.
Total, like I said, total domination. Complete game.
It was. And it's been 2 weeks in a row now. We've played 2 complete solid games on all 3 sides of the ball. It's been really nice to see. I know we're playing the bottom part of the conference, as far as our opponents go right now. But, even when you're playing the bottom part of your conference, it's still impressive to be able to put the complete game plan together like we have the last few weeks. I personally thought starting out that the play calling was a little bit vanilla. But we did come out hot, and like you said, domination on the Cougars. Everything hummed. Seemed like everything was really in tune this weekend. Green looked good again. Went 12 of 24 for 250 for 2 touchdowns, which he's been killing it since the bye week. I know I said that last week, but since the bye week, I was looking today, 61 of 115 for just under 1,000 yards at 998, I think, and 6 touchdowns. And those numbers are relevant to me, not because they're eye-popping numbers, because let's be honest, they're not. You're looking at 53% on his completion, less than 1,000 yards in the last 5 weeks. But him finally becoming, consistent and, accurate on the pass game has really allowed us to open up the run game better, which is how it's supposed to work, right? You're supposed to be able to pass when they try to stop the pass, then you break out into the run. So it's been really awesome to see that. But, if you had to pick something this past weekend that was your favorite on the offensive side of the ball, what are you leaning toward?
I'm leaning toward White. Jaheim White.
Absolutely.
Dude, stud. He absolutely. I think buck 50, 10 yards a carry.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah, he was he's a little jitterbug out there, gets lost behind the line for a second, and he is lightning in a bottle. The kid can fly.
Dude, he runs hard.
And I think, honestly, Donaldson feeds off of him. I'm starting to think that you're seeing more White, and when Donaldson gets in there, he knows that he's got a pound and thud a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Green, it's getting to the point now where Green he feels like he don't have to take control of the game.
Right.
Or like he doesn't have to be the running back anymore in a way. You see him when he rolls, he's not looking to roll and tuck. He's looking downfield to see if he sees anybody, find greener pastures and open up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then if it's not there, I'll get my 5, get down, maybe take off,
Right.
But he's not rolling out because he feels like he has to run for his life, or he has to get that, he has to play quarterback, running back same time.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of goes back to what I was saying about the offense finally looking like it's balanced. We don't have to rely on him to be our best running back. And dude, he only had 23 yards of rushing this weekend. He could have had more. You guarantee he could have had more. He could have rolled and got more if he wanted it, but he didn't need to. And that's a really cool growth to see on our offense. I'm not saying I'm like climbing the mountain, but look, I got my climbing gear out of the storage building here, got the dust off of it, and I might put it on here, seeing how pending how we end the year. You know what I mean? I can honestly say from where I was at the beginning of the year, I was like 5-7, 6-6 at best. If we got above 500, I thought we'll be lucky to get there.
I had us at 7, lucky 8.
Yeah.
So, but just watching the game, sitting there watching it, I'm like, man, they look good. They look really, really good.
They did. A stat I think you'll like. I found this out today, and I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was somewhere around 5 yards. The running backs were not getting, and this is a shout out to the offensive line and the work that they did this weekend. The running backs were not getting hit until 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
That's impressive offensive line work right there. That is working the ditch right there. When you can do that.
You were talking about that they seem vanilla.
In the beginning, I thought like the first 2-3 series were kind of bleh as far as the play calling went, personally.
But my thing is, you don't have to be tasting the rainbow out there. You can be vanilla with that because if it's not, if you know what I'm saying, if it's working, it's working.
Right. Well, if it's working, pound it. Yeah.
If your running back's getting 3 or 4 yards downfield before he's touched, if your wide receivers are finding open space, catching a ball, it's just chip away, take a shot, when it's working, you can be, hey, we got 30 plays. 7 of them's working. Let's just call these 7.
Let's call those 7 and make them beat it. Them beat it. If they beat them, if they start figuring it out, they start shutting it down, then you switch it up a little bit. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fair logic right there. The defense had another good day, man. 2 4th down stops in the first half. Really, 4th down stands, really good. Keeping BYU out of the red zone for like a majority of the game, right? I mean, it was impressive to see that. And Beanie Bishop again, everywhere, all the time. I love that kid, dude. I think if I were to pick 2 players that are my favorite players, I'm going with Beanie Bishop and Jaheim White right now. I mean, they're just stars. They're just stars right now, in my opinion.
I saw 2 knockouts right in front of me on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, I know. I know where you're sitting. You're right, man. Dude, they were hard hits.
It sounded like car wrecks at the 35-yard line right there. I like the fact that we let them, it's the typical, we're going to let you catch the ball 6 yards. 6 yards, 6 yards. Well, after about 4 or 5 of those, you saw our D-backs go, you know what? We're going to make you throw it over top.
Mm-hmm.
And
he couldn't do it.
No, he couldn't do it. And if you're going to catch the ball 6 yards, we're going to absolute smoke you right there.
That one dude, the kid didn't know where he was. I think he stood up. He was like, what? What's going on?
Oh, dude,
I mean, it was nasty.
It looked like he got hit by Tyson Fury. Dude, he got up and I was like, just walk him off. I mean, he couldn't. I mean, he was rocked. He was absolutely rocked. I think who got him I can't remember who got him, but I'm telling you, it was a car wreck.
Was it Murray?
I don't know if it was Beanie that lit into him or
I don't remember. But if anybody's watching this and you remember that and you know who it was, put it in the comments. Nobody's commenting, which is fine. Please. But hey, put it in the comments if anybody knows who it was that just created that car wreck on the about the 50-yard line on the visitor side. It was just nasty. Kid looked like he wanted to go back to bed for 5 minutes. Don't send me to school yet, mommy.
Yeah.
It was killer. It was killer. We had a lot of those. We had a couple of those though. I mean, we did. Something that was really irritating to me, and it was irritating to everybody else in the stands. Do you remember the penalty for ineligible receiver downfield?
After 10 seconds after the play? Never seen that before. They were lined up for the next play.
That's what I said. That's what I was complaining about. That play was over.
Done.
They moved the chains. They spotted the ball. We got over and was lined up and the ref's getting ready to back out of there and let us snap the ball. And then all of a sudden, boom, here's this receiver. And I was like, how do you call that late after that?
We're going to review the play. When it's like you're reviewing if you're going to throw the pen, like, okay, yeah, we're going to call that a penalty, or no, we're not. I just don't understand. Then the delay was forever.
Yeah. And I think if I remember right, I think I read somewhere that the delay was, and this just shows you how ridiculous this call was to be called this late. if I remember correctly, the review was to see where the ball was spotted on the previous play, because that penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot of the foul. So they had to go back and find, okay, not where did the play end? The play's over. We done spotted the ball ready for the next play. No, we got to go back to the previous play to see where the ball was spotted so we can move WVU 5 yards back from there. And I'm like, that right there is kind of shows you how ridiculous it is that they waited that long to throw that flag. Like, that's baffling to me.
It was absolutely awful.
It was. I was baffled, as most people in the stadium. I mean, we all heard everybody booing. You know, I went back and watched a couple things on TV on YouTube with the replay of the game, and you could still see, you could hear everybody booing. It's crazy. But I thought something was interesting. Do you remember second quarter? I think when we were in the red zone on 2nd and 4, and we got like 3 false starts and another penalty. Ended up 2nd and 24.
Yes.
I'm wondering, and if anybody out there knows, you know, maybe put in the comments, kind of fill us in. I'm wondering if there was something that BYU was doing on the line, making our guys jump. Had to have been, right? I mean, you're talking 2 or 3. I mean, dude, we went from 2 and 4 to 2 and 24 without even snapping the ball.
It was back to back to back.
Yeah. And yeah. I wonder if there's something going on the line there, or, you know, there's something that I'm pretty sure is illegal that maybe they were kind of getting away with.
Well, I think 2 of the plays were on Brown, actually. Not Brown, Donaldson. I was thinking Brown from the old number 4.
Man, Lanny living in the past.
Well, Brown changed numbers, man. It's yeah, but then Donaldson, you know, wearing 4. I think he got back-to-back penalties on him. One for like illegal motion, and the other time he flinched. He like leaned.
Okay.
And but still yet though, it was like, you know, it's hard. Like I said before, I think you look at the scoreboard, it's 14-21, and you're just, they got to learn. I hate to say this, they got to learn to play up. You know, whenever you're easy to flinch, it's easy to, you know, you might have had a you know, somebody you ain't played with much in the game with you at the time, and do I go in motion? Do they? You know, and it's easy to, you know, possibly get sidetracked with a little bit of change.
Yeah. Well, either way, you know, I think that was probably, in my opinion, the worst part of the day. Was that stretch right there. The ineligible receiver downfield. I don't know what Coach Brown said about it in his post presser, but I'm not holding that against the team.
No,
in my opinion, you can't call that late. You can't move the chain, spot the ball, let the guys line up ready to play, and then say, oh, by the way, here's a flag. But I mean, it was just really nice to see a complete game 2 weeks in a row. And the thing that I really liked was, dude, Neil Brown put the pedal down from kickoff. And he didn't let up until he's like, all right, we're putting in second string defense. Yeah. You know, we're pitching a shutout. That's a shutout to me. They scored a garbage. Huh?
What'd you think of being at the 10-yard line with 6 seconds left? I thought they should have called one more play before half. Go through the jugular. If it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
You know, throw through the goalpost and then kick a field goal with 1 second left.
I think, me personally, you know, the field goal is the way to go there.
With 5 seconds like they did?
Yeah. Me personally, I mean, at that point, you're not, it's not at the end of the game, and you're not really needing those extra points by the way that game was going. I was fine with the decision. I think, me personally, maybe I would have taken a couple shots to the end zone. And if you don't get it, then you kick the field goal. Seemed like we were kind of playing a little bit of the run ground pound there just for a little bit, and then kick the field goal. I think I would have took a couple shots just to see.
Yeah. But I think there was only 5 seconds left, so you had 1 shot.
Yeah, and I don't think I was too upset about that call. I think the thing for me was the defense pretty much, in my opinion, pitching a shutout essentially.
Yeah.
You know, they scored a garbage time touchdown on our second string defense. So, you know, second string maybe need a little sharpening up on the edges, but that's what second string is, right? Yeah. But I liked it.
I know that Neil wasn't too happy with special teams. Right after half, we kicked off to him, and they took out one to the house. They had to call back later in the game, which, you know, they're down. It made it 27-7. You know.
Yeah.
Later in the game, we scored and we kicked off again, and he like kind of short kicked it to about the 15.
The dude got back to the 45.
Yeah, he brought out to the end. Neil was pretty upset that you know, just the lackluster tackling on special teams.
Right.
So he said that they're going to take a look at, get it cleaned up, see what's going on. So,
but hey, you know, I think I think, you know, it's what I like is we're running out of things to criticize, in my opinion, right now, which is a great thing to do.
Yeah, I don't get petty, but
right, yeah, like I'm not gonna sit here and try to pick things apart. Which between you and I am definitely much more probably the negative one. You know, beginning of the year, I'm just like, man, we're not going to win more than 4 or 5 games. You know, Laney's over here saying, come on, we're going to win at least 6. We'll win at least 7. I'm like,
You're hearing it now. We're going to win like our next 30 games.
Oh, does that include next week? That's a great segue, Lance. Oklahoma coming. We're going out to Oklahoma this week. What do you think our chances are, Lanny, of winning that game? I mean, Oklahoma was ranked 6th in the nation. They lose I think it was Kansas, right? Kansas beat them, and then Oklahoma State.
I made comments about the you know, they're showing some chinks in the armor.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't think we win.
Okay.
I don't think we win. I think Oklahoma, you know, circles the wagons and their Sooners or whatever they got out there, and I think we lose a close one. We just take a couple errors on us, but I think if we go out there and punch them in the mouth with our run game, we can make it very, very interesting. Very interesting. But I think Oklahoma gets us 34-27 is my call.
Okay. Well, I will say this. I personally think that this is going to be the biggest test for our defense yet this year. Yeah. I mean, dude, Dylan Gabriel is just – I haven't seen a whole lot of him play this year, but what I have seen, what I have watched of him, I'm like, man, he's good. He's like, I think only 206 of 289, which is 73% with 2,600 and some yards. 20 touchdowns, somewhere around there. Like, I think it's going to be that game where if we're playing off of them for 10 yards like we have been most people this year, that's a no-no. That's a no-no for them because he's accurate. And if we're giving them 10 yards of free range, it's going to be like it's going to be like going to the carnival and throwing the ball, you know, on one of them little carnival games. Just throw it in the net. That's all he's got to do. So I think for our secondary, man, it's going to be a big test. I hope they can kind of come over it. You know, maybe they're having a hangover off losing 2 straight, or maybe they're going to come out and take it out on us. You know, I hope not.
Or they can just fold like a lawn chair. You know, we don't know.
Yeah. But I think it's been nice to see us kind of come up with an identity this year. So that's new. But Lance, a very real chance for us to finish 8-4. You know, if let's say we assume a loss to Oklahoma, that'd be right?
Yeah.
Yep. 8-4. Well,
we are better. We are better than the remaining 2 games after Oklahoma. We are better than Cincinnati. We are better than Baylor.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, you know, actually, I've got a fun little graphic here. I mean, here's our remaining schedule. You know, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Baylor, and if you look, you know, we got our standings here. Cincinnati dead last. Look at UCF finally getting a conference win this year, right? Baylor just above them, and look, you know, you got all the way up here, right in the middle of the pack, just a hair above the midline. I'd say is West Virginia, who was picked to finish last in the conference this year.
Yeah.
I think maybe the newcomers are having a little bit of a surprise punch in the mouth. Welcome to big boy football, as Dana used to say. But looking at our schedule here and the standings herein, Cincinnati and Baylor, very, very winnable games. So in my opinion, I'm kind of expecting at this point with how we've played since the bye week, minus the end of the Oklahoma State game. We all know what happened there, giving up all those points in a short amount of time. I kind of have come to expect 8-4 finish this year. I mean, what do you think? You think About right. You think we beat Oklahoma? Maybe we pull out 9.
No,
Don't think
I think we lose Oklahoma, and win our last 2, 8-4.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's fair. Now, you ready? We're gonna touch a little touchy subject here for everybody. Okay.
Let's go.
8-4 finish. 5 years, no winning seasons. 2020 has a big asterisk beside it. 8-4 in a down conference, playing the lesser part of the conference. What's Neal Brown's future looking like? I mean, if you got a pedigree hire out there, somebody that is proven in the industry, has the stats in the industry to back it up, pedigree name that's going to bring in recruits, it's going to bring in money. Do you pull? What do you think?
No, we don't pay to go away. We said this before. Neal's not going nowhere. For those who want to see him go away, you should have wished a lot harder for losses. He's not going nowhere. He'll be here this year. Well, he'll be here next year. And at the end of next year, I think, honestly, 8 wins saves him again. And he fulfills his contract pretty much, I think. Yeah. Rumor has it that they are meeting with Jimbo Fisher this week and to talk about his future at Texas A&M. The scenario be unreal for Jimbo to come here.
I would like to add that is allegedly and based on a news report. We are not suggesting that in any way.
Yeah.
We don't need Texas A&M calling up this little podcast, taking us for like the $50 we might have between the two of us.
Excuse me for my light kit. But yeah, it's allegedly, that's happening because they had a meeting, like a little get together a couple weeks ago. It said, we're not happy. You need to win immediately. And I think it's 2 in a row he's lost. And they made a heck of a comeback against Ole Miss, but just I think they ended up losing 38-35, something like that. But yeah, Jimbo's seat is on fire at Texas A&M right now.
So this kind of brings me back to a point here then. Congrats on, hypothetical end of the season if Neal were to win 8. But in my opinion, if Jimbo Fisher is let go, oil money, listen, everyone, people are like, oh, are they really going to pay that much money? Man, that's way more than anything the people of West Virginia, as far as what our contract goes with Neal Brown, can conceive. Like, those guys are like, he's owed something like $70 million this year if they let him go.
Right now, if they would fire him tomorrow, it's like $76 million guaranteed.
76. Oil money knows no bounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So those donor boys out there want him gone, he's gone. Right. So if Jimbo's floating around out there, maybe Jimbo says, hey, Ren Baker, I really miss living in West Virginia. Really wouldn't mind coming home. I just got a check for $76 million. I'll coach WVU for like 4.5. I'm saying you pull that trigger.
Man, I'm so I'm stuck on that because I like Jimbo. I don't know if Jimbo can win here. Truthfully, I don't know if he wins. If you got Neal Brown, you got discount Neal Brown we're paying 4 and change. And he's getting you 8. Is the extra worth the? Was Jimbo going to get you to that 10?
So okay,
you're talking real money per win. You're paying for wins. So is it well worth that? Because I mean, there's no doubt that I don't know if Jimbo would give a discounted home price, and but we will never see West Virginia pay a coach, $7 million, $8 million a year. It's not going to happen. I think our ceiling on paying a coach is probably about 6.
I think that's fair. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I just don't. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. It will be interesting.
I think and people, we are looking at like a deep hypothetical here. We're just rolling for fun here. I'm sure Laney wants to get a shot in with Rich Rod here in a second. But if you're rolling with the Jimbo hire, that's a hire that makes a splash.
Yeah.
That's somebody that's bringing in some fresh, renewed energy into the program, and everyone's like, "Well, he's not winning down there at A&M, and look at all these recruits he has." Okay, but you're not really. You're kind of comparing apples to orange, apples to oranges there instead of apples to apples. He's playing in the SEC, where all the other SEC teams are also getting the same level of talent he's getting. So I guess the thing that maybe kind of proves is maybe his coaching isn't all that great. I think he could win in the Big 12. I think if he were here for the past 5 years with the same recruits that Neil Brown has had for the past 5 years, I think he has a better record. I just think he's a better overall coach. It's just my opinion. I'm sure people aren't going to like that. Just like people aren't going to like Lanny saying, "Bring Rich Rod home, baby, bring him home." That's how I feel about it. I think he makes a splash. He brings in money. I think he could bring in recruits. We could get more 4-star recruits, maybe a few 5-star recruits with him. I think you put that in with the Big 12, especially next year with the new Big 12 when OU and Texas is, out. I think it changes the dynamic there, and I think it's worth to pull the trigger. But let's go ahead and hear your thoughts on your guy. Because I know you want to say it. I know you want to bring it up.
My dude is hanging out down Jacksonville.
Oh God, come on!
I'm just telling you what, he wins. Rich Rod wins. He started off slow here, went left here it was the way he left. He is that ex-girlfriend you want to see her go, but it depends on how she leaves. If she's cussing and screaming at you and she goes out the door, that's a bad breakup. You know what I'm saying? She actually waves goodbye and you see around the corner later. It wasn't that awful. That was not awful. But it was the way Rich left. And he went to Michigan and things didn't work out for him up there. The year they fired him, the next year they win 11 games and played in the Rose Bowl. His players. He goes out there and he didn't want to. I don't think he truly wanted to go to Arizona, but he turned that from a 3-win, 4-win team. They end up winning 8, 9 wins, and I think Rich, he's the innovator. He brings the culture of the hard nose. I will grind it down your face till you can't take me no more. And it's just that and he's West Virginia, man. He's blue, he's rooted here. And even though he did not leave because he wanted to go. He left because he wasn't getting what he wanted and what he thought he deserved by the administration. Let's get that straight.
I think that you're right about that. You're 100% right about that. And I think sometimes that is the thing that people forget. Because me personally, my issue with Rich Rod is not how he left. I get it. The administration really wasn't wanting to put into the program what he felt needed to be put into the program for us to keep up with other schools. And I get that. And that's fair. He wasn't getting what he wanted and what he thought he and the program needed. So here comes Michigan. Okay, I'm going to take this. Could he have left better? Absolutely. I think we all out there can agree on that. For me, it's not how he lost or left. For me, it's he came in and I don't want to say caught lightning in a bottle because he did coach. He did well with his players. It's not like, oh, Pat White bailed me out of everything.
Yeah.
But he came in with a new offensive scheme that really nobody else in college football knew about, heard of, had ever seen. So it really played to his advantage. Fast forward however many years later, 16, long time, more than that, 20, right? I mean, How long was it since he was hired, man? It was like 20 years ago now, I guess.
Close to it.
Okay. So fast forward, here we are. How does that scheme, which every Power 5 team seems to have a version of, does it work the same? I mean, if
it didn't work, nobody would run it.
Well, that's true, and I guess that's the thing is, he's still winning. He is still winning. He's on it. I can't deny facts, and he did. But something I want to touch on here, Lanny. Give me your thoughts on something. Speaking of Michigan, and I know you've heard about this. Everybody in the sports world has probably heard about it over the last few weeks here. You've heard about this, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't live under a rock.
Okay, so they apparently fired the staff member that was responsible for that this past week. First off, a certain friend that you and I used to work with, big
Mhm.
Michigan fan, I would love to get his thoughts on
Oh,
this.
okay. Oh, that would be something.
But I think my thing is, how do you, if you're going to do something like this, how do you use your name with your credit card, not buying the stuff in cash? Why are you not walking up to a scalper outside the stadium?
Because you're dumb.
Hey, I mean,
Um,
come on, man. Like, you got to use your brain a little bit here.
I'm telling you what, right now, he did not. This is true conspiracy, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. He did not do this by himself. He,
Absolutely not.
there's this here. This is going to be an onion, and they're going to peel away at it for a while until he absolutely starts giving up people. He will take the fall because that's probably who he is. My guess,
Right.
but
Thinking that if they dig hard enough into the Michigan financials, they'll find a random check for a large amount of money that nobody really knows where that money went to.
yeah.
Maybe.
Did you see where his picture was taken on the sideline? It was like Central Michigan.
Mhm.
Why the hell are you scouting Central Michigan on this? What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Dude even bought him like a Central Michigan hat, shirt. Dude, he looked like a GA over there. Like he's like, hey, you need water filled. Like he's passing, It's like, what are you doing on the sideline? Like this fool's like signing plays in. He's that close.
That's crazy.
You're going to play Central Michigan. What are you stealing from Central Michigan?
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it was a dumb thing. The big question is,
Hold on. I'm not done.
oh, okay. All right, let her fly.
If you're going to do that for Central Michigan, what are you going to do when you play Ohio State? Man, put cameras in the locker rooms.
He'll know, man. He'll be dressed up as a janitor, pushing a broom out around the locker room, trying to.
Oh, it's unreal. That's where I'm at with it. It's like, how far would you go? And this looks slimy for Michigan. It just the whole situation, and they're just numb to it. Like they're not saying nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course not. I mean, this is the kind of thing that, like, when you plan this out, you get a bunch of people together and you say, "Who's the fall guy?" And this guy was like, "Well, how much money? I'll do it."
Oswald.
No. Oh God! When you plan something like this out, you have the details where if it comes to light, he's taking the fall, he's going to get fired. Everybody else is going to shut up unless we are in a courtroom.
Yes.
Okay, and that's how it's going to go away. Now the question is, in your opinion, does this? And I assume the question would be, or the answer would be yes. Does this take away from the legitimacy of what Harbaugh has accomplished at Michigan?
I don't think so.
What? Well, you got a guy out here stealing signs and crap like that, and freak. Come on now.
They're still okay. I don't know all your. That's your fault for not changing your signs game on a 2-game basis or something to begin with. But the thing is, though, the teams that they are saying that he went and videoed or stole their signs, that might be. I don't think it makes you playing that team 14, 21 points better. You're still beating a piss out of them,
Right.
So, I mean, they played, they're saying it happened against Ohio State. Michigan ran the ball up and down the field against Ohio. The play call, the sign stealing didn't make Ohio State quarterback throw 3 interceptions and cause 2 other fumbles. You know what I mean? Or whatever happened. It didn't cause them to lose by 28 points.
Oh, but wouldn't it though? I mean, if you're out there stealing signs and you're calling these signs into the coaches who's calling this into your defense, and you know what play's coming or you know what formation's coming, wouldn't that put you in a better position to maybe get a couple extra picks? or you know where a guy's supposed to be running on this next play and gives you a better idea where he's going to be.
I don't think it matters if it's a 7 to 10 point game. Possibly, I don't think it matters when you're just beating up on them. That's it.
I think it makes it all look bad. I think it takes away from some of what he's done there, because I guess we'll never know unless it ends up in a courtroom. But I would be really interested to know in of the turnovers maybe they've forced over the last however many years, and the points that they've scored over the last however many years, based on knowing these defensive and offensive signs. How many points came of that? How many wins came of that? It'd be interesting to find out. But who knows? Maybe we will one day.
Thing is, man, I'm telling you, Harbaugh has been accused of some shady stuff for off and on throughout the years.
Right.
So it's man, it's rough. That's a hard one to go through.
Well, I think I might call Big T this week and get his opinion on it.
We ought to just get on I'm saying, all three of us on the call. So
maybe we'll do that this week. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, that's going to wrap it up. Listen, all you guys that have watched through the first 2 episodes, we really appreciate it. It's fun to see our subscriber numbers going up a little bit. We're not killing it. We're not stars or anything, but a couple more people subscribed over the last week. We got a couple more views, so it's really cool to see. We hope you guys are liking what you hear. If you guys got anything that maybe some suggestions, maybe don't set us on fire here, but if something you think might be cool to do or something that might be nice to change, put it in the comments. Let us know what you guys think,
please.
But hey, every Wednesday 9 a.m. Ear to Ear podcast, and we thank you guys again. Subscribe, like, all that good crap, and we hope you guys have a good week.
From C. Ray and Lanny Mo, we hope you enjoyed us from Ear to Ear. Take care.